Hello everybody, welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/SeanSourceTrex. My name is Sean and today we are back in MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. But also importantly happening right now, or today or tomorrow, is the fact that we are getting an MLB The Show 26 cover athlete reveal, question mark. They put out a statement today talking about the fact that they're not having a new cover athlete, which I assume means that we're either getting like a dual cover athlete of people who've already been on it, or we're getting like a whole camera shot. I posted a little short today. I have the first half of a video that'll be combined with the second half of a video that'll go up tomorrow afternoon, reacting to all of that prediction and reaction, kind of like I did last year. So get excited for that. Hopefully we get a release date. We won't, but we'll have all of that set very soon. We have games to watch today, though, here in MLB 11, the show. We have some repeat stuff. We're going to watch the Braves and the Cubs again. Basically, what happened is there are only like 10 games or something happening today. I just took the games that had the best over, like, the closest, most competitive records. So we're going to start and we're going to watch the Blue Jays and the Orioles, both of them chasing the Yankees in the AL East, but they can kind of beat each other up and knock each other out of the playoff hunt. The Athletics are playing the Yankees, so both those teams, whoever wins, would be rooting for the Athletics in that game. Then we'll be watching the Braves and the Cubs again, and then the Marlins and the Rockies series has been a lot of fun, so we will check that one out as well. Let's not waste any more time, and let's jump on into our first game of the day, and it will be, there's like 4 menus, I forgot. The Blue Jays and the Orioles in Baltimore. Toronto Blue Jays chasing down the Orioles. The Blue Jays have played so poorly over the last couple of weeks that they have not only fallen out of contention really in the American League wildcard race, but they have also fallen behind the Orioles. So it's a good opportunity for the Orioles to kind of pick up a little bit of room, or a little bit of, some games. I don't know. I'm tired. Did not sleep well last night, so both did not sleep well, and technology has been fighting me all day. But welcome on into Baltimore. Blue Jays are 28-31. The Baltimore Orioles are 30-30. Orioles kind of honestly coming out of nowhere, if I'm being completely honest with you. Totally honestly being honest with you. It's very surprising because there was enough of a gap where you kind of take your eyes off of a team, and then one team starts to suffer, and they're like the story while this other team is ascending. Johnny Damon in left field will lead off. Andre Ethier in right is behind him. Miguel Cabrera at first. David Ortiz in the designated hitter spot. Xavier Nady is in center field. Mike Aviles is at third base. Derek Jeter, the shortstop. Lorenzo Cain at second. And Rod Barajas is the catcher. So you will have a right-handed pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, because they do, or for the Baltimore Orioles rather, because the Blue Jays do not put David Ortiz up against lefties. Ubaldo Jimenez is 5-5 with a 4.75 ERA, 12 games, 30.1 innings pitched, 34, 12, and 31 hits, walks, and strikeouts. I need a drink. Johnny Damon is batting a little under 300, 292, only a couple of home runs. Not a ton of RBIs either. I think that makes sense with the leadoff hitter. That is way inside for a ball. We are underway. Running a little bit late tonight because of the technology fights. Adobe Premiere worked perfectly fine yesterday. And I mean perfectly fine yesterday as I edited a video. And today it just said absolutely not. I will not. I tried to load it up and it crashed. And I was like, this is bad news for me. Hope you can get better sleep tonight. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to see you walk off. Hope your day was good. Any predictions for the cover athlete? Did you see anything about that? If not, that's fine. I'm sure most people aren't like me sitting there going like, I got to find all the information. Actually, I wasn't even looking for it. I just happened to see it. I do have to be careful tomorrow and try to stay offline and remind myself to stay offline, because I don't want to be spoiled on it, as silly as that sounds. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is At the knees for a strike. Thought that might have been a touch low, but the umpire gives him the strike call. 3-2, so here comes a payoff pitch. Also a little surprised that on a 3-1 count, Damon wasn't a little more aggressive. That is outside. Another theory I had for the show cover was going to be a bunch of people from the WBC. Oh, I like that. That's a great thought. I like that a lot. Okay. Now, do you think that the Oh, God. No, that's awesome. You said that, and I was like, oh, that could be like a cool, like, special edition cover, but they didn't do one last year. Also, why not just have it be the regular edition cover? Seems silly. I like that idea. Why is the WBC every 3 years, by the way? That is going to be hit into right field. That'll put a runner at second. Damon's going to hit the bag, make the big turn as the right fielder seemed to take a little while to get to the ball. It'll be safe at the corners. So Damon works a walk, and they're immediately able to move him into scoring position. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 single. Miguel Cabrera is batting .280, 4 home runs, 17 RBI. See what he can do here. I mean, if you're the Blue Jays at this point, I think you would probably just want to try to knock the Orioles out of the playoff race. Thankfully, we actually have some divisional matchups happening, which is a positive later in the season because we got a lot of them out of the way early, which was unfortunate. That is hit to a diving shortstop. He is able to make the play, get the runner at second. Cabrera safe at first, but just barely. The run will score either way. It didn't matter if he was safe or out. It just leaves a runner on. I do like that they always just have their mouths open. They're like, ah! Oh, is it closed now? I'm going to get the ball! David Ortiz, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. That batting average is brutal for the 4-hole, the power spot. I think the reason for the WBC being every 3 years is the MLB. Players traveling and playing every year. That's in for a strike every year. Would be disastrous for injuries, endangering contracts. 3 is just an odd number. I love the number 3. 2 or 4, I guess, make more sense. But yeah, that's... I did not think about it that way. When does that start? World Baseball. Nope. I tried to spell baseball, missed the V. Missed the B, hit the V. World Vasectomy Day was what the result came up as. BASC. Ball Classic. Thank you. March 5th. Ooh, cool. Oh, wow. At the Tokyo Dome? Oh, I guess that makes sense. Oh, here, hold on. That's a picture. Whoa. Hold on. There's Pool C, Tokyo, Japan. Japan, Australia, Korea, Czech? Chinese Taipei? Okay. March 5th. I got the information I was looking for. Hopefully the World Baseball Classic is good. So that would explain why there aren't any of the, like those weird kind of opening day games that are overseas. They had, the Cubs and the Dodgers last year, as that is out. Number 3 to left field. Toronto comes up with 1 hit. They are able to use the walk to their advantage. And it's 1-0 Toronto. That opening night game is pretty exciting. Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is the designated hitter. He will be, the leadoff man for the Orioles. Luis Castillo, not that Luis Castillo, at second base. Evan Longoria at third. Rick Ankiel in left. Derek Lee at first. Corey Hart in right. Miguel Montero is behind the dish as Drupal Cabrera at the shortstop position. And Trevor Crowe is the center fielder. As always, This season, the Baltimore Orioles lineup is pretty tricky with an equal mix of left-handed, switch hitting, and right-handers. Boy. John Carlin is 6-3 with a 5.14 ERA, 11 games with 28 innings pitched, 38, 9, and 24. You love that the walk number's under 10 this deep into the season. He might not, how many starts did he have? Because we can take 11 starts. Okay. I mean, he's given up under a walk a start. That's good. That's good, at least. John Jay, Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt will get things ready. And he will be a one pitch, one swing, one foul ball. Hit out towards the visitor's scoreboard in right field that takes away a home run and is really annoying. I was reminded today that Pete Alonso is on the Orioles because I forgot about that. And I got re-annoyed all over again. I was like, ah, great, I got to face him. We have to face the Orioles 7 times this year, 4 times in Baltimore, which is just a nightmarish place for us to play. 0-2. Toronto 1, Baltimore 0 here in the first. Toronto did a good job to get off to a good start. John Jay. Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, it's the third baseman diving. He's up with the ball. It sails into the dugout. Weird. We have seen worse throws that have hit that gap, the steps that don't count as an advance. Weird. So an error by the Blue Jays puts a runner in scoring position, and Luis Castillo has an opportunity to tie this game up. A good swing here. Oh, Baltimore very aggressive swinging the bat here early. Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt swung at just about everything, and then not a great swing there from Castillo. Good take on the inside, makes it 1-1. Much like the batters, I need to settle it down just a little bit. Righty is ready and fires. The pitch is low for a ball. That one stays up high. So 3-1. Shakes off the catcher. He better be right. He is, but only because of the swing and the miss. That pitch was right on the edge. I don't know what direction that goes. We saw 3-1 that was taken by... That'll be rolled up the middle. Shortstop comes up with the ball and fires it to first in time. So the error already biting the Blue Jays. Obviously it was going to. I think Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt was going to outrun the ball. I think he was going to make it to first. He was going to beat the throw is also what it's called. So the throw the errant throw made it even worse. Because instead of just a single, it's a double. Now he's on third. The 1-0. He's ready and fires. That is sliced out towards right field. Does the right fielder have a beat on it? No, he jumps and it goes over his head. The runner will advance to second easily with a stand-up RBI double. It is 1-1, Jays and Orioles. That's what we're looking for. Looking for a little bit of a strike-back inning. Two teams going back and forth. Rick Ankiel batting .247, 5 home runs, 20 RBI. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. One gone in a 1-1 game at the bottom of the first, an 0-1 count. That's inside to make it 1-1. Now we got aces wild. A 1-1 game. Bottom of the first. 1 on, 1 out. A 1-1 count. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is sliced foul. Finally comes back into frame. It finally hits. Boy, what a... 1-2 is well outside for a ball to make it 2-2. Not sure why he jumped for that ball out in right field. And he's outside for a ball as well. The righty winds and fires, rolled over. Foul ball. And that's outside for a walk. Not a terrible walk. There's a runner, or there's a base open at first. You don't really have the advantage in that at bat. Derek Lee gives you maybe a better chance. Just a righty-righty matchup. 263 average, only a couple home runs, but a good handful of RBI. 14 is a good number. Looking for number 15 here. The pitch is, gets that outside corner for a strike. 0-1. That is fouled away to make it 0-2. Oh, he's going to roll it over to the second baseman. Is there going to be enough time? No. Safe at first. It was a slow roller. It was going to have to be perfect on the timing, and the throws were going to have to come in hot. Now you get the question of, is the game going to punish Toronto for not being able to turn that double play? First pitch is high and inside for a ball, 1-0. That is fouled away. Ooh, and a big swing and a miss under that one. Makes it a 2-strike count. 1-2. Baltimore looking for the lead. The go-ahead run 90 feet away. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is driven fair. That's a fair ball. Oh my goodness. It'll be a double. The runner will hold at third. And my goodness, are those so difficult to see what's happening up the first base line. Orioles fans on their feet and getting hyped because they have another opportunity here with 2 on. The game again punishing a defense for not being able to pick up the double play. A double play that the game just does not allow you to pick up. That one stays way upstairs for a ball. That is inside for a ball. And spoiled foul. Sorry. Foul ball. Foul ball. That ball. Spoiled foul. Here comes the 2-2. And he will roll over to the second baseman. He scoops it cleanly, fires the first in time. Baltimore takes advantage of a Toronto error, picks up a couple of hits in the process. They score 2 and take the lead Aviles, Jeter, and Kane coming up, the 6-7 hitters. 6-7-8 hitters for Toronto. Mike Aviles. All right, Jimenez back up to the plate. Back up. What? Returns to the mound is what I was looking for. Oh boy, I might be more tired than I realized. Holy moly. 1-0. That pitch, not close. This time he's working with a lead. It's a nice recovery pitch to get it in the zone for a strike. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is rolled foul up the first base line. 1-2 now. And gets the swing and the miss. Nice little pitch on the outside there. Made it look nice and competitive, and they just dipped it outside of the zone. It's an aggressive Blue Jays batter out, and there's one gone. Derek Jeter's batting over 300 at 311. 1 home run, 4 RBI, 2 stolen bases. And he's in the lineup consistently. I'm surprised that he doesn't have more RBIs at least. Though the batting average does look really nice. I think you'd take that. Jeter will hit to the second baseman, and he is out. Quickly 2 away here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lorenzo Cain. Batting just under 300. Not a ton of lefties in this Blue Jays lineup. 3 of the first 4 batters are lefties, then everybody else is a righty. Jimenez gets off to a good start, making Kane go down 0-1. That's outside for a ball to even things up, 1-1. Pitch is on the way. The 1-1 misses wide. 2-1. Kane gets under that one just a little too much. It's going to drift out to center field, and that will retire the side for the Toronto Blue Jays. A successful first inning. They just can't replicate it in the second. After oh, I skipped a word in there somewhere. I sounded like I was trying to sound smart. I was like, no, you just missed a word. You're just... As Drupal Cabrera will get things going here in the bottom half of the second. Looking for a little more insurance. A 1-run lead is nice and all, but with some of the losses we've seen recently, we saw 3 runs not be enough. That is not only a ball that like went through his legs. Video game, what are we doing? Why was that not the brushback animation, or also, more importantly, a hit by pitch? We're going to work the inside again. Thought about going to peel down. No. Here comes the 2-0. That is hit to the shortstop. He picks it up cleanly. Fires the first in time, and that is out number 1. Jeter making a nice play there. Trevor Crowe has a good-looking average, 308, I believe. The righty is ready. He winds and fires outside for a ball. Sets himself, winds and fires. Swung on and missed. That was a big swing there from the lefty batter. Evens the count at 1-1. That is a rolled foul. The righty readies and fires outside. That is off the end of the bat. Foul ball. Stays alive with 2 strikes. Pitcher nods his head and is ready. That is a broken bat. Little bloop shot to third base. Comes in aggressively. You love to see that. Charges the ball and gets the out. Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt looking to keep this inning going. He had a walk. And he came around to score. Did he have a walk? No, 0 for 1 with a run. I apologize. 0 for 1 with a run. And he will unfortunately be 0 for 2, but did come around to score that run. I was like, somebody had an error throw, and it was like, and it was Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Rod Barajas has a very nice average at 437, but only 5 RBIs, zeros in the other 2 columns. We'll see what he can do for Toronto here in the top of the third, looking to get some things going. Here's the wind and the pitch to open him up. It's inside for a ball, 1-0. This is that kind of baffling Toronto Blue Jays offense that we've seen. Like, again, it's that name value recognition that looks so good, but their inability to really do a whole lot with that offensively is weird. I'd love to see 69 Shorts views already. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside. Ball 3, 3-0. Here comes the 3-0. It's in for a strike. Unsurprising. Pitcher is ready, winds and fires. So that's an excellent take for Toronto. That's how you want to start things off. Take advantage. It's a 3-1 count. The batters tend to get really aggressive with that. That should have been a pretty easy pitch to take. It's either going to be right at the top of the zone or it's going to do what it did in Sale. Johnny Damon had the walk. They were able to take advantage of it to score a run. See if they put that runner on first in motion. At least not on the first pitch. Just misses low for a ball. 1-0. The righty is ready. Fires inside. Ball 2. That misses wide outside. Ball 3. Uh-oh. A couple of these have been some pretty easy takes, and it was a 4-1 count, or a 5-pitch walk the first time. Which means that pitch number 9 is only the second strike he's thrown in this inning. Can he maybe put something where Johnny Damon gets a little aggressive and misses it? Or do you just work with the walk regardless? Here's the 3-1. Damon takes a pitch inside and high for a ball. That'll be ball 4 and a second consecutive walk to start the top of the third. They'll go out and have a chat with him. Andre Ethier. Let's say 1 for 1 with a single. Yes, 1 for 1 with a single. Ethier's going to want to be real patient here. It is an 8-2 walk to strikeout pitch. Now it's 8-3. That one's only a strike because it was swung on. That might have missed the zone low and inside. That's low for a ball. So again, we have 4, 8, 10, 12 pitches. 3 of them, 25% are strikes at this point. That is a foul ball. Actually, that number might be higher. That'll be rolled to the third baseman. Is he going to have a play at second? No, instead it's a weird skip over to first. That could cost that Orioles defense. There was no other play. He really didn't have anywhere else to go with that ball. It's just a nice swinging bunt by the Toronto Blue Jays, but if the Blue Jays can pick something up, get something into the outfield, then bing, bang, boom, they might be able to swing this game back in their favor. Would send us to the home half of the third. The line and the pitch stays well upstairs for a ball. The right-handed pitcher is ready. Here's the wind of the pitch. It's driven up the first base line, but does go foul. That's a big break for the Orioles. The first baseman didn't look like he was going to be able to get it. It would have been a slow roller into right field, scoring 2 runs with minimal to no problem. That is a nice location on the outside corner. One and 2. The righty is ready. He winds and fires. I want to say he's way inside and sails a little bit high. 2 and 2. Here comes the pitch. It is fouled away. Jammed him a little bit. Went way inside. Don't think it's a great swing at all, but he's able at least to foul it off and stay up there. Just one out here in the top of the third. He almost ducked his head into the pitch path, which is a very weird thing to see in this game, where the ball's not that bad, but then the hitter ducks to avoid the ball and almost gets hit instead. That is lifted out to right field. Is he going to be able to pick it up? He will get the out. It'll be out number 2. Go ahead run now at third base. And I might get Baltimore BS just watching the game, but we'll see what David Ortiz can do. Shakes his head in approval, and here's the wind and the pitch. It's low for a ball, 1 and 0. So the first walk that Jimenez issued comes back to haunt him. Walk number 2 that he issued is just 90 feet away from giving the Blue Jays a lead. The 1-0 is rolled to the shortstop. He picks it up cleanly, fires over the first in time for the outs. Oh boy. Toronto picks up a run on no hits, a couple of walks. Sacrifice fly. Castillo, Longoria, and Keel. So here's the bottom of the third. And he gets a strike on the outside edge. 0-1. The righty is ready. Outside. So the left-handed hitter. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is rolled to the shortstop. Oh, he can't glove it cleanly. He'll fire to first, but not in time. Safe. Another error for this Blue Jays defense. And that might cost him the game as Derek Jeter shakes his head in disappointment. Maybe even a little bit of surprise, considering the fact that it's him. Coming off a World Series just a couple of years previous. That pitch misses low. 1-0. I mean, anything but the double play here is a positive for Baltimore. That'll do the trick. They'll make the big turn at second, and they will put the winning run just 90 feet away. The throw is better than you might think. Love that he went straight to third base. Did not worry about the cutoff guy. That would absolutely seal it as an easy, safe call for the umpire. Instead, made it a little tight. Ricky and Keel. All kinds of ways to get him in here with just 0 outs. And Keel takes the ball low. 1-0. The righty is ready and misses low again. 2-0. Here's the wind of the pitch. The 2-0 misses outside. 3-0. Ooh, pardon me. Now he's outside for a ball. He just flat walked him. Oh my goodness. Ooh, it is just off the outside edge. It's a good take by Ian Keel. Toronto pitcher, I'm sure, not happy with the call, but they will head to the bullpen. Edward Mojica comes on in with 21 games, a 1-3 record, 3 saves, 2.74 ERA, 23 innings pitched, 4 walks to 16 strikeouts. That's a good strikeout to walk ratio. Problem is that he is coming in with the bases loaded. Nobody out still. The wind and the pitch is in for a strike on that outside edge. Kind of a weird sentence. In for a strike on the outside edge. Maybe not that weird, and also more words than I realized. 0-1. The righty is ready. He will get the big swing and a miss. Oh boy. Oh boy. Baltimore, you have the bases loaded. It is so easy to just pick up a win here. Swings like that aren't helping. We don't need a walk-off grand slam. You need a walk-off single into the grass, man. Oof. Big swing on that. Drives it. Foul ball. Oh, and 2. Yet again. Here comes the wind and the pitch. It's swung on and missed. Lee set down on strikes. Now the Orioles in kind of a precarious position. If they hit into a double play, it would be absolutely devastating. But with how bad this game's double plays are, you just never know. I mean, 2 errors, I believe, both on Jeter. The throw got yeeted to first. That might have been the second baseman. 1-0. Bottom 3 in a 1-1 game. The righty winds and fires. That stays high. Here comes the 2-0 pitch with 1 out. Wind and misses outside. Oh boy, if they walk in the game-winning run, it is 3-1. Typically these batters get pretty aggressive, but he hasn't done a great job finding the zone. It's also 3-0 the count. take a strike at the knees. 3-1. Now is where that batter usually flips the switch, starts getting real aggressive with the swings. We'll see what he wants to do here. He will drive that fair ball. 1-0 your final here in Baltimore as they take down the big bad Blue Jays 1-0. Kind of hoped that that would be the inevitable result just because of the fact that they had the bases loaded. If they don't come away with runs in a bases loaded situation, when are you going to come away with runs? And with how inconsistent Toronto played on the opposite side, we don't need this to go any longer than it absolutely has to. 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI was Evan Longoria. He is your player of the game. Ubaldo Jimenez improves to 6-5. John Garland falls to 6-4. Orioles score 2 in the first. And we have the Blue Jays. They score 1 in every inning. No, that's not true because they only scored 2 runs. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me and my tired ass. Catching up on the lone score that has gone final. Mets over the Astros, 3-0. We'll slide down and we will stay in the Northeast. Or the no, okay. I was gonna say, are the Athletics at home? Like, no, that's probably not how that would work with that game in New York. Definitely read Seth Rollins' name is Seth Rogen. Ichiro up there in 12th spot. Gutierrez, Estruis. Welcome on in too. I forgot to tell you about all that. Welcome on into Yankee Stadium. Again, if you're enjoying, not really again, but if you are enjoying the content, be sure to hit the thumbs up video. Free, easy way to support the channel. You can also go check out the shorts, or the short that I did just put up. Jacoby Ellsbury at center field. He will lead things off for the Athletics. Darnell McDonald is the designated hitter. Kevin Youkilis at third base. Adam Lind at first. Vladimir Guerrero in right. Hideki Matsui in left. Clint Barmas at the shortstop position. Jose Lopez has second locked down, and Chris Snyder is behind the dish. Come on. Goodness gracious. Joe Saunders is 6-5 at the 3.03 ERA. 11 games, 29.2 innings pitched, 35, 10, and 14. Your hits, walks, and strikeouts. I was able to get it there, thankfully. I was able to get it down. Oh, nice. Athletics have been one of the more... they might just be one of the more obvious... You know, hey, this isn't our traditional uniform teams. Like, it's very easy to see that. Yankees working with a white ball cap today, blue brim. As we have a throwback matchup happening here. The lefty is ready, winds, fires. He gets the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count. We are just trying to get caffeine. We got to get that second wind. Usually there's like a lull and I can feel like I'm going to pass out and fall asleep at any moment. We'll get there. We'll be awake. Darnell McDonald batting .481. 5-game hitting streak, good for him. The lefty is ready. He'll wind and fire. Pretty good patience there by the Athletics on the outside. As Vladimir Guerrero in the box. That is, oof. I don't know that Vladimir Guerrero likes that. He's that spin in the box, a couple of words exchanged with him in the back on the backside. It's 0-2. It's a tight call in that outside corner. Can understand why he'd be irritated. Especially against the lefty that you would feel like you have a pretty good advantage against. Unless he's just an absolutely nasty lefty. Which he very well could be. Here comes the 1-2. That's outside for a ball. Nice job. A good eye. Evens things up. Guerrero drives it up the third baseline, but pulls foul. That's upstairs, and that will fill up the count. Here's the playoff pitch from the left-hander. It is kind of, bit of a weird play there. Guerrero definitely got jammed on the inside. He has enough strength to get it out into the field of play, but it goes right to the shortstop. And a fairly easy toss over to first base. That'll bring in Kevin Youkilis. I had to think about it there for a second. It's 1-0. Swung on and missed. To make it 1-1. Yankees lead the American League East. Oakland trails by half a game in the American League West. I forget exactly what the Mariners' record was after yesterday. They did lose. I would guess that it would, if the Athletics lose, they would be a whole game back, and if the Athletics win, it would be a straight tie as he goes for the slide, but cannot come up with the ball. Safe at first. We have our first base runner of the evening. Belongs to the Oakland Athletics. Tried to make an athletic play. Pun intended. Couldn't come up with the ball. I'd imagine that's called a hit because that looked like a pretty important move. That is hit well out towards left field. You can see the runner between first and second is watching it fly 6 rows deep. It's a 2-run home run. Oakland up here in New York. New York in first place by a good... I like how they're both wearing throwback jerseys. I agree. Sometimes with teams like the Yankees, it's like hard to tell because the changes are very subtle, but the catching gear is what gets me. That's where it's like, oh, something's not quite right. It's like a shade lighter, or a couple shades lighter. It is maybe one of the best things about this game is the uniform variety that we see while we're just watching. So the Athletics lead by 2. That was some 2-out damage. Good for the team from Oakland, who's no longer from Oakland, and that is driven foul. One and one with 2 gone. That is outside for a ball. The lefty is ready. And maybe should have gotten a little bit more ready because he missed that wildly. Three-one. We know how the batters like to participate in this count. It is exactly what I was thinking it would be. It's not caught on the fly, but it is still an out. 2011, there is 2 wild card spots, or still just 1. 1 per league. We will immediately jump into a 4-team divisional round, and then it's the championship round, then it's the World Series. New York Yankees will be led off by Scott Pasednik. He is the left fielder. Center fielder is Marlon Byrd. First base is Prince Fielder. Hank Blaylock, the designated hitter. Miguel Tejada at short. Cody Ross in right. Brandon Phillips at second. Casey Blake at third. And Giovanni Soto is the man behind the dish. Scott Baker, the right-hander, is 5-5 with a 5.52 ERA. 11 games, 31 innings, 32, 9, and 25. I really like that strikeout to walk ratio, 25-9. Right around 3-1. Not exactly. It's a little under 3-1. It's like 2.33 to 1. Scott Pasednik leading things off here for the Yankees. That is low for a ball. The righty winds and fires low. Good patient at bat already. I know it's been 2 pitches, but you like to see that from the leadoff guy, especially when they can be so aggressive. That is low. Three and 0. Athletics pitcher, we gotta find the zone here, buddy. Wow, and that is out toward the short porch. It is going to be caught just a step or 2 shy of... Okay, no, please. I love when my computer picks like, hey, I see you have OBS open and it's streaming. And you have, YouTube Studio, it's open. You're watching the back end of there, checking out the chat, no problem. Hey, would you like to restart and update your computer? Like now, of all times? Now. No. So the 3-0 aggressive swing, it wasn't a terrible pitch in that bad of a location. It was something that the hitter was able to get hold of, obviously, because he drove it out to right field, but couldn't get it away from the defender. Maybe he'd be able to get to the short porch out there and right, but alas, no dice. Strike at the knees is called. Makes it 1-1. That is driven foul up the third baseline. Charge. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It is in for a strike. Nice location by that Athletics pitcher. Kind of made the right-handed batter seem like it was made him think it was going to drift outside, but never really stayed that far out. Clipped the zone 4. Strike 3. Prince Fielder steps up, 255 average. 7 home runs, 17 RBI. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. One and oh. Righty is ready. That's in for a strike. Gets the inside portion of the plate. Don't know if I agree with that call. Fielder drives that one foul. Foul ball. Here comes the 1-2. It is misses low for a ball. I actually went into this season thinking that it was going to be the one-game wild card in each league, but was quite surprised when I did a couple of test runs and just like some regular franchises that, oh, we're just jumping right into the division game. Okay. All right. Division series. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is drilled out towards center field, but under it and stays way up there. Drops into the center fielder's glove, and that will retire the side. Couple of hits for Oakland. They have a 2-0 lead. 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for the Athletics. I genuinely got confused because Matsui is wearing an A's hat, and I thought, that's not right. No player would ever play for their own team. The lefty winds and fires in for a strike. That was probably a pretty hittable pitch, but Matsui obviously not really looking for it, and it'll be a pretty easy strike. That's in for a strike as well. Oh, and 2. The wind and the pitch is swung on and missed. Matsui can get the best of him. Clint Barmas steps in. He'll be the next to face the lefty. 1 out. The pitch is... A couple of first pitches from this lefty pitcher in this inning have looked like they've been in good locations for the hitter to be able to get to it, but just not ready to swing the bat. Instead, he goes for a pitch way outside. I think you want to flip those 2 swings. One of the more irritating sequences that we get here in MLB The Show, especially when I'm playing, is like if you just didn't swing at the previous pitch, but you swung at that one, at least if the count's 1-1, it's an improvement from 0-2. Pitcher misses just outside for ball 1. 1 and 2. Here's a pitch from the lefty. It is low for a ball. Two and 2. And off the end of the bat, foul. Two and 2. Inside. Batter stands still and lets it happen. Fills up the count, 3 and 2. 1 gone in the top of the second. Oakland leads 2-0. I will be honest, I did have to go back and look at the footage because I forgot how they got a 2-run lead. I literally looked at the score. I went, they lead 2-0. And I went, that happened? Yeah, it was a hit out to right field. Not that hard. But kind of hard when you're tired, you know? That is hit well. Is that out to right field as well? It is indeed. It'll take a look at it 7 or 8 rows deep. Chris Snyder's next. Oakland leads 4-0. That one I saw, and I know I saw. I feel like I caught my second wind there. As I was explaining, is it 2-0? I could feel like we're kicking in. We have busted through the wall of tired. Right through. Punched it in the face. Pow. Uppercut. Ow. Smacked my wrist. 1 and 0. Immediately following the 2-run home run, not great. That is a no-doubter out to left. The Yankees are getting crushed by the Oakland Athletics right now. 5-0, all via the long ball. It's like our modern-day Seattle Mariners when I'm playing as them. Season starts March 26th. 2 months from today? Are we straight up 2 months? It's a changeup at 83 miles an hour, just early, but boy, oh boy. Right down the middle, just a little high, and crushed it. Jacoby Ellsbury is 0 for 1 today. Five nothing here in the top of the second. The lefty winds and fires, gets the low inside corner for a strike. Oh and 1. Oh, they're going to go with a bunt, but it's back to the backstop. Ball gets rolled to the second baseman, fires over to first in time for the out. So after the two-run home run, or the solo shot, excuse me, bounces back. Kind of a dangerous location, but able to get it past the batter. 0-1. I mean, you would hope that 5 runs is enough of a lead, but in this game, sometimes you just never know. That is low for a ball. Here comes the 2-1. Ooh, throws it right down the middle for a strike. Maybe not quite as low as he wants it, but it's in a spot. Sorry, my nose has been bugging me a lot today. And he's able to induce the swing and the miss. That'll retire the Athletics, but not before they pick up 3 more runs. Blaylock, Tejada, and Ross. They'll need to get something going here for the Yankees. They need a response inning here. Hank Blaylock, 4 home runs, 20 RBI. Pretty nice. And a good-looking average there as well. 329. That is hit. Foul. Just a horrible amount of noise there. That's gross. It's out to the left fielder. He makes the catch. And that is an out to start things here for the Yankees. I guess start for the Yankees. Bad start for the Yankees. Offense, good start for the Athletics defense. Tejada steps up. Got to get something going. There have been no hits so far. That is a good way to get it going. Out to left field, and that will be into the stands. Our 4th home run of the day. The Yankees are on the board, and that is how they will pick up their first run of the afternoon, or evening, or night. Cody Ross, 307 average, 4 home runs. He is next up. Wind to the pitch. Ooh, boy, almost gets him inside. It'll just be a ball that brushes him back a little bit. Here comes the 1-0. I'll take that pitch outside, 2-0. Thought about swinging, but the pitch stays low for a ball, 3-0. And that is low for a ball, 4-0. So a very easy walk there. Okay, this is a good opportunity for the Yankees. They've done a good job to get one solo home run. How much more can they get? One on, one out. 4-run game here in the bottom of the second. That stays inside, so 5 straight balls. And he is hit out to right field. That is rolled in between the infielders. That'll get into left field. It will just advance the lead runner a base. Good lack of aggression there. Getting a bat out at third base does not help you. You're still in scoring position. Just work with what you can get. You don't have to have it all back in one half inning. Oakland scored 2 in the first, 3 in the second. So, gosh, he is really leading off these batters with pitches inside. He is playing a dangerous game where he is probably going to hit a batter, which would not be a good situation here. There is a base open at third. I don't think you want to bring the tying run to the plate. That is lifted to center. Too far under it. Is it deep enough? The runner will tag at second. The center fielder, oh boy. Oh boy, he's out. Oh my goodness. It's an excellent dive to get the foot. The Yankees only score 1 when they probably should have scored more. They did a good job to not get too aggressive in the previous hit. That piece of contact, that's not what you want to do. It is 5-1 after they do pick up a run. Kevin Youkilis will lead things off. Here's the lefty to the plate. It is in for a strike. Well, hold on. We're going to take a look at that pitch because that one looks real weird. We have seen, for whatever reason, and it's been the right-handed batters, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to move the camera too much. Didn't look like it ever clipped the plate. But they call it a strike. Not the worst, most egregious strike we've seen, but not great either. Not what you want to see. Oh boy. Swung on and missed. Here comes the 0-2. Big curveball outside, misses wide, 1-2. Lefty is ready, and that'll be hit out towards right field. Does that have enough? Is it another home run? It is a solo shot. So that's 5 home runs. 2 solo home runs, actually 3 solo home runs, and then the 2 2-run home runs to account for all 7 runs scored between the 2 teams. 6-1. Athletics do a good job. They get that run that they gave up right back, and it's really making that decision to advance to third a bad one. You love that the center fielder for the Athletics they did throw the ball in directly to third. It didn't get the cutoff. Didn't hit the cutoff. Didn't need to get to the cutoff. They'll drive that one up the middle. I feel like it's the first hit the Athletics have had in the park in a while. As this Athletics team is playing very well right now. Doing a good job closing down the gap with the Mariners. I think if they win, they tie the division lead. The Yankees will get into the bullpen. They will bring in Yohan Marinas. Jan. Yeah, there's no O in there. 5 games, a 2.70 ERA. 3.1 innings pitched, it looks like. 9-3. No, 3-0 strikeouts to walks, my bad. No record, no saves. That is outside for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low. So 2-0 with a runner on first. Not what you want to see. There's a strike. Especially don't want to see that considering the fact that you went to the bullpen to get this guy to hopefully stop the bleeding instead. He's worked a 2-1 count. I'll check on the runner at first. He's back safe as they are 99.9% of the time. That is not an exaggeration. Two and one is outside for a ball. Righty is ready, and that is inside for a ball, so he will work a walk. And it'll be Hideki Matsui. 301 average, 6 home runs, 17 RBI. Oh boy, I thought he got a lot more of that. It should just be a single, yeah, they'll work station to station. Not a ton of speed for that lead batter. And it is bags packed for the Oakland Athletics. Can really break this thing open. 6-1. They score, if they were to hit a grand slam, say. They tie the Cubs and the Marlins, who each scored 10 runs, both on May 13th, and not against each other, though. The high that we've seen still 14 by the Pirates. Number of runs scored. That is inside for a ball. That's outside for a ball. Okay, takes a strike on the outside edge. This pitcher has got to buckle down and figure something out. A double play would be huge here. I think it's the rare time where at least if you go home, it's a force out. That's inside. That'll walk in a run. So the Athletics put on, well, maybe not. Looked like he kind of missed the plate there a little bit, but they'll put up run number 7. It'll be Lopez, who has a 2-run home run already today. These retro uniforms for the Athletics are doing wonders for them today. That's going to be a race for the AL West pennant between the Mariners and the Athletics. As we're on, June 10th? This one's driven out towards the left. We have 20 days left in June. So about 24 days. It's a double play. The run will score. And one of the times where the relay throw actually seemed like it was helpful instead of a deterrent. Matsui is not happy about it. Arguing with the umpire, do we get a toss? No. Just a long conversation. Chris Snyder's 1 for 1. He had a solo home run. Do you ever watch Dorkly? They do videos like, what if video games were more realistic? Huh. I have not ever heard of that. I will check it out though. 0-1. Oakland with 8 runs. That'll put them on the leaderboard. That's fouled away. They would be... fifth? That's way upstairs. Six according to my thing. I don't think we've had... I don't know. There's probably some that we missed somewhere. It's all good though. That is outside for a ball. Payoff pitch with 2 gone. The righty winds and fires. The runner in motion, unsurprisingly, with a full count and 2 away. We'll see another payoff pitch after he fouls it off to stay alive. And it's a swing and a miss. They also do what if Pokedex entries were literal. I have never once played Pokemon and it still cracked me up. Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll give it a look. Giovanni Soto, 281 average, 3 home runs, 11 RBI. So we are here in the bottom of the third. Game is kind of run away from these New York Yankees. They were unable to pick up really... They were unable to get anything going, and they were unable to stop the Athletics. The Athletics having one of the better, at least, more consistent offensive outbursts. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third. You don't usually see that in this game. But they've worked to their advantage, and an 8-1 lead here in New York. Inside for a ball. Wind in, the pitch is outside. As a man of culture, I know you will love Dorkley. That is in for a strike. He needed that pitch. Three and 2. Here comes the payoff. It is hit into center field. Does it have enough? No. Center fielder under it to make the grab. 1 away. Lots of scoring in this game. Time-wise, is it as long as a game for 3 innings? It's alright. I think the thing about it is that, like, things are actually happening. Like, technically, yes, but boy, some of those extra innings games where you're just like, no one knows how to hit a ball. Brutal. We breezed through yesterday's games pretty quickly. That is hit out to center field. That'll get down for a hit. It'll be just a single, but still keeps this game going. They put the runner in motion. He's out. I was going to say he should be safe, but then I saw the throw was off the bag toward the runner, and that had to have been, I don't know if we could look at a replay at all, yeah. That had to be one of those where he caught it like in the man. All right, well, that's how it ends, about as anticlimactically as you could imagine. It was going to be real tough for the Yankees to get back into it. They just could not get anything going offensively, and they could not slow this Athletics offense down. It'll be an interesting series to keep an eye on over the weekend. The Yankees are in first place in the AL East. They have a decent lead. The Orioles, though, would benefit from this. Adam Lynn 2 for 2 with a home run, 2 RBI. Scott Baker improves to 6-5. Joe Saunders falls to 6-6. For Oakland, Snyder's first, Lynn's 7th, and Lopez's 4th. Tejada picks up his 3rd on the year. 8 runs on just 7 hits. Wow. 2 runs, 2 RBI, 1 home run. So just a home run and a single for Lind, the player of the game. Yeah, who won that last game? Not ever something I should be asking. So if the Orioles, they did 3-2. That's right. They won that 3-2. So then they would be able to close the gap a little bit. The Yankees 33-26. The Orioles. We can take a quick peek at it. Orioles are 3 games back. Yankees on an L3. The Orioles on a W4. That's a positive for them. All right. 4-0 Angels over the Red Sox. Then we watched that 8-1 clobbering. Let's head to Chicago. We'll check out the Braves and the Cubs for game number 3. While this gets loaded. Ooh, there you go. There's your wild card standings. The Mariners and the Athletics lumped at 32-27. Cleveland at 32-27 as well. Who's the next Central team in there? White Sox, 28-32. Orioles 2 games back, so they can make things interesting. While we're hanging out in the loading screen, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you'd like more. You can ring the bell if you'd like to be notified. Baseball streaming 5 nights a week here on the channel. Sunday through Wednesday and Friday. Atlanta 32-26. Chicago 31-28. I believe this is a... I actually don't know if it's a rubber match. I was thinking of the other series that we've been watching. I don't even know if that's a rubber match, because some of them are going 4 games toward the end of the season. For Atlanta, the lineup looks like this. Danny Worth at short. Howie Kendrick at second. Josh Hamilton in left. Andrew Jones, Hall of Famer. Recent inductee. Center field. Matt Joyce in right. A.J. Przinsky is the catcher. Ross Glode is the designated hitter. Mark Tiad at third base. And Gabby Sanchez at first. Here's your starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Jordan Zimmerman, the righty, is 2-0 with a 6.14 ERA. 3 games, 7.1 innings pitched, 11-4-11 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Yeah, so he's canceling out the hits at least with the strikeouts. Pardon? Danny Worth getting things started here, batting .214. This was a super weird lineup for the Atlanta Braves yesterday, as they were facing a left-handed pitcher from the Chicago Cubs. But what's the lineup looking like today? Hold on. I didn't even take that into account, because the Braves, because they had such a weird lineup, they really needed the 3-4-5 hitters, or the 4-5-6 hitters, excuse me, to get going. They have a big old line of lefties there. Okay. It'll be a roll over to first base. He bobbles it, but picks it up. Runs it over and steps on the bag, and that is out number 1. Howie Kendrick, 281 average, 3 home runs, 12 RBI and a stolen base. The pitch drifted inside. Catcher was set up toward the left-handed batter's box, looking for it out there, but gets the strike and a good take for the Braves hitter. And that's a good hit by the Braves hitter as he will knock a single out to right field and get on board. Josh Hamilton leads the NL in home runs with 14, 26 RBI to go along with it. That 337 batting average looks pretty good as well. That is low for a ball. That is a strike. Gets that outside corner. 1-1. Zimmerman winds and fires. It's low to make it 2-1. That is lifted over to right field. Does it have the distance to get out of play? It does not. The out is made in foul territory, and there are 2 gone. Andrew Jones. We'll take a strike on the outside. 0-1. Some of these games have had much faster starts than some of the previous days where you're like, oh boy, it's like an inning and a half where they're not really doing anything, and then all of a sudden, oh, now we're going to score the runs. Okay. Been a little bit better today in that regard. That is swung on and missed for strike 2. That is hit well out to right field. Does the right fielder have a beat on it? He does not. It gets over his head into the ivy. The runner will round third and they'll round second, so it'll be a triple. And that will be a 1-0 lead for Atlanta. Found that little funky spot out there in right field that goes back just a little bit further. Can they cash in the second run off the triple? You'd like to think that they can, but with 2 outs, it feels like it's a little bit different. A 1-0 count does help. Here comes the pitch from Zimmerman. It's low again, 2-0. The righty winds and fires. That one kind of so bad it's good. It was supposed to go into the opposite batter's box, but this guy kind of drifted back over the plate. 2-1. Runner on third with 2 gone. The pitch is swung on and drilled foul. Two and 2. The righty winds, fires, and swung under it. That'll set him down on strikes. Atlanta comes up with a 2-out triple to score a run. Get you introduced to the Chicago lineup right now. Michael Bourne. In center field, he'll lead things off. Jason Bourne's brother. Alberto Calles is at third base. Batting second. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. J.D. Drew in right. Ricky Weeks at second. Martin Parado in left. Derek Barton at first. Willie Bloomquist is the designated hitter. And Josh Thole is behind the dish. Left switch, right, left. Tricky top four there. Right-handed pitcher, I'm assuming, for the Braves. It is. It's John Landon, 4-4. It's a left-handed. Did I say left-handed? 4-4 with a 4.02 ERA, 11 games, 31.1 innings pitched, 34, 12, and 9. Yeesh. Hits, walks, and strikeouts in the... He has more walks than strikeouts. Gross. That's disgusting. I will not stand for that. He's also given up a good chunk of hits, but I got so distracted with the fact that he's walked more batters than he's struck out. The lefty will miss low for a ball. Uh-oh. Not a good start. 1-0. Readies the pitch, winds and fires. Ooh, it's going to be a broken bat up the third base line on a hop to first base. Nice play there. It'll be out number 1. Good job by the third baseman to avoid getting stabbed with a bat. "34 hits over 31 innings. That's a good point. I kind of get locked in on some numbers and forget about other numbers. Yeah, but that's a great point. I appreciate you pointing that out. Because I genuinely didn't even think about that. I read all the stats and I kind of like, I'm able to, some of it I piece together, but there's a bobble. Jeez Louise. Atlanta avoiding shrapnel up the third base side, bobbling the ball at the second baseman. I mean, that's about as far as you can go away from first base to get that animation and still get the out. Otherwise, you're looking at an error and a runner on. Lefty winds and fires that in for a strike. Tulowitzki doesn't seem to agree with it. Kind of had a little look there to the umpire. Looked good from our angle, but we are offset a little bit. Okay, that one he can't be upset about. Yikes. You got to be a little more aggressive there, Tulowitzki, in that situation. 2 gone here for the Cubs in the bottom in the first. 1-0 Atlanta. As the lefty tries to get through this third batter. That one is drilled foul up the third baseline. Scattered is also a very good descriptive word for that. That one misses low for a ball. Readies, winds, fires. That one is going to be rolled toward the shortstop. He'll pick it up clean and fire over to first in time. So the first one went to third, the second one went to second, the third went to shortstop. All of them out at first base. Brzezinski, Glode, and that other guy, Tian, stepping up. Cubs can't even get anything out of the infield. That's brutal. Easy 1-2-3 inning. That's true. Righty winds and fires. That one's in for a strike. 1-1 here at the top of the second. That pitch is swung on and missed. Oh, man. Okay. All right. The thunk noise still gets me a little bit because the game is so bad that it's like straight up thrown balls through. We saw one go through some knees today. There was one time it went through like the back out the chest and it didn't count. So that thunk noise a little more surprising because you figure the game would be more consistent, but it's also, you know, a 2011 PlayStation 2 game held together by duct tape and dreams. 0-1. Thought about the swing, but able to hold back. One and one. That gets away from the catcher. Squirts back behind him, and it'll advance the runner to second. Game's been a little bit of a mess. A hit by pitch. We had the broken bat thing. We had a weird bobble. That's a passed ball. It's just kind of... Everybody's goofy today. Right fielder couldn't quite track down the ball in the first inning. It led to a triple. That's like the most like, okay, that makes sense thing that's happened. Here comes the 3-1. And that makes sense. The batter gets aggressive on that. He's just a little off time there. Drives it foul, and we will look at a payoff pitch. The righty winds and fires. Zimmerman misses low for ball 4. And that will put 2 runners on. So it turns out that the pass ball didn't really matter because there were going to be 2 runners on anyway. Atlanta looking for a little extra insurance here. A little early. A little lefty section of the lineup for Atlanta. Like I mentioned earlier, they did have a funky lineup yesterday against a left-handed pitcher in Chicago where they had 2 righties, a lefty, 3 righties that they kind of needed to do all the work, and then 3 lefties at the bottom of the lineup that they hoped the game didn't rely on. Long inning continues. As mentioned in the chat, they're making him work here. He's had some nice locations here or there. Just can't get the... Seems like he can't get consistently in the zone or routine outs for his defense. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's outside. That one. Beautiful location. Sailed way outside. Not even competitive. And that edge of the zone has been open for a while. Like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like the game bonks all the umpires on the head before it starts. Thought about the swing. Able to hold back. Just bonks every umpire on the head and goes, you're going to miss every call ever today. 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. It is rolled to the third baseman, fires to second, makes the turn to first in time for the double play. We've never had a triple play. I don't think we will. I don't think this might be the one of the rare baseball games where I don't think a triple play is possible. Swung on and missed. Gets the strike. Atlanta still has an opportunity to drive in a run. There is a runner on third. And gets that corner. He's gotten that call a couple of times. He's been in that spot of the zone accurately. Ahead of this batter, 0-2, which feels like a rarity in this inning. And hey, that's nicely done. I like that pitching from Zimmerman. I know it resulted in a hit. I get that. Way too often in this game, we see the pitchers get ahead 0-2. Obviously, you want that pitch to drop down a little bit more so that the batter swings over the top of it. I gotcha. But way too frequently, these pitchers get too cute ahead 0-2. They throw stuff way outside, and then their rhythm is all thrown off. They're missing pitches wildly like that one. I like that he was aggressive in the zone. Kind of got bit by it, but I don't know. Maybe don't have the bases loaded or two on and not be able to turn two. Come on. There's the strike on the inside. The sentence started strong, and then I just kept talking. And it just fell apart. Love seeing a little 2-out damage. Doubling the Braves' lead. Now 2-0. A big swooping foul ball. It's a foul. Here comes the 1-2. Misses low to even things up at 2-2. 2 outs here with a runner on first. And that'll be ground to the shortstop. Over to first in time before the out. Jammed him on that one. 3 hits. Or 2 runs off 3 hits total for Atlanta. Drew, Weeks, and Prado. Chicago looking for their first hit of the game. J.D. Drew, 5 home runs, 20 RBI, batting .326 on the season, 1 stolen base. The good news for Chicago is it could be way worse. They're only down 2. You're a bloop and a blast away from tying the ball game. That would just require you to do everything that you haven't been able to do by getting, I don't know, a hit. That pitch misses low for a ball. That one drifts inside, picks up a strike, 1-1. It always feels weird to tell a team like, hey, you're not that far behind. Look, I know you're terrible and you're awful. That's fouled away. But you can do it. Drew with a good eye here at the plate. Taking a couple of pitches low. And that's outside for a ball to fill up the count. Drew only took the 1 swing. It was a foul ball. Other than that, even the other strike was a take. Here comes the payoff pitch, and Drew, nice and easy. Hey, you don't need a bloop and a blast. You can get a walk and a blast. Drew does his part, and Ricky Weeks has an opportunity to help his team out. That was a lefty-lefty matchup, too. Oh, I thought he did it. The sound off the bat, pretty good. Had the distance, but early on that one, drives it foul. God, he's going to want that pitch back. Let's see what we can do here. 0-1. It's a good take on the outside. 1-1. And that's... Wait, hold on. Foul ball. That's a foul ball. Up the first base line. What's the lefty have on offer here? A pitch out of the zone. Foul ball, ball. Foul ball, ball. Foul ball. Here comes the 2-2. Fouled away. I was correct. Foul ball. So then this one will be a really bad ball. And then a foul ball and then a walk. Actually, Weeks does a really nice job to fight that one off. 2-2. The cycle there, the pattern is broken. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Can we get a pitch? No. I was hoping we get the pitch tracker or the swing tracker. That was an awful zone. Or swing, excuse me. All right then. 0-1. It's a bit of a weird call. Where have these calls been all game? What is happening? Here comes the 0-2. And then Deuce's swing that drives it out to left field. Weird. Those were two head tilt calls. I think one of them makes sense, sure, but both? To a pitcher that hasn't really consistently found the zone seems a little weird. But hey, it's MLB 11 on the PlayStation 2. That's what we paid for, apparently. Nice take inside. Ball one. Honestly, it sounds like they're chanting for a strikeout, which just makes this game feel even more broken than it already feels. Swung on and missed. They're cheering for their own batter to strike out. Strike out, strike out. Like, what? You're supposed to be cheering for me. 1-1. That'll be rolled to the second baseman. Fires to first in time. Well, they worked a walk, but can't do anything with it. Kendrick, Hamilton, and Jones look for a little extra insurance as we get ready for the start of the third inning. Kendrick a single and a run. Okay. I guess if they gave it to the Cubs, they got to give it to the Braves as well. What? It wasn't as bad as I thought initially, but also kind of, Smacks that right back up the middle, and that is a single to get things started here in the top of the third. So Josh Hamilton's 0 for 1. And we know that Kendrick had the single and then the run, so Hamilton would be 0 for. And then the next batter would have that triple and the RBI. That is a big old swing there from Hamilton, and it is 0-1. One more game coming up. We're heading back out to Colorado. Marlins Rockies, game 3 of that series. That stays upstairs. Oh yeah, I think it would actually kind of have to be the end, because normally new series in regular MLB, current day MLB, start on Fridays. But in this game I'm assuming with the 82 game or 81 game season, I would assume that that's the difference in why series start on Saturday and Tuesday. As a foul ball. That is inside? Question mark? That's a ball. Or at least that's what they call it. 2-2. That one went right through the elbow. That is rolled to the third baseman. Is he going to have a play? No. Safe up the first base line. Love that he went just to first. There was no play at second. Cubs will hit the bullpen. They'll bring in Sean, spells his name correctly, Burnett. 14 games, a 5-0 record, 2 saves, 1.42 ERA, 19 innings, 7 walks, 15 strikeouts. Andrew Jones, 1 for 1. He had the triple that knocked in the run back in the first. What does he have in store for the fresh arm out of the bullpen? That lefty misses? I don't know about that. Nobody out. Big swing from Jones, and it's 1-1. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out on this Monday night. We'll be back tomorrow and Wednesday with more baseball. 6 p.m. Pacific time, as there is a strike in the low inside corner. If Adobe wants to work with me today, there should be a comedy video tomorrow. Should also be a short, but depending on how irritating that is, it may or may not have subtitles. Which I've been working on the captions, because that's just a nice thing to do. But it was already giving me trouble with just a much more basic short that I didn't really want to fight it. Lined and the pitch. Jones gets called out on strikes from that high outside corner. Oh, and he gives him a little bit of a, get out of here! I'm tired of seeing your face! Get out of here! Whoop, whoop, whoop. The Cubs, again, they are doing a good job sticking around in this game. Atlanta's had consistent base runners, and they've been able to only hold them to the 2 runs, and one of them was off that triple that could have been an out. And then you have the double play that you just needed the 1 extra out to avoid the second run coming across. There's a strike. Bringing in a lefty for Chicago is a good idea, considering how they have a string of lefties in this lineup. That is a low. Two and one with an out. Ooh, boy. Inside. Almost gets him, but able to back away. Lefty winds and fires. It is rolled foul. Here comes a payoff pitch. Fouled away. Terrible. Giving him a long at bat here. Especially after the animation, the sassy animation we got to the previous batter. Telling him to go get out of here. Krasinski stepping up. So this must be that little lefty lane in this Braves lineup. The bases are loaded. Atlanta already leads 2-0. There is just 1 out, and that is hit well out to right field. Does he have it? He does. Runners will tag from second and third, scoring easily. And that will put another run on the board, 3-0. Atlanta and Oakland both doing some steady damage. Oakland did a little bit more. They did more damage because they had 2 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs. But Atlanta's been a consistent 1-1-1. Ross Glode worked a walk. He'll face the lefty with 2 on and 2 out. Looking for a little more insurance. Pitch misses, low for a ball, 1-0. That's way outside. Lefty winds and fires. That one's high? Or right at the letters. Either way, it's a ball. 3-0. And okay. That felt like a bit of a generous call on the inside. Maybe a guy who hasn't really been earning it. But he does spell his name correctly, so what are we supposed to do here? 3-1. Batters love a 3-1 pitch here. And he does put a big swing on that one. Pitcher does a nice job keeping it away from... He does a good job keeping the balls away from the wood. Payoff pitch upcoming. Lefty winds and fires. It is rolled up the first base line. The first baseman throws to the pitcher. Kind of a funky looking animation, but they come up with the out. 8-9-1 hitters. Bloomquist. Thole? Bourne coming up. Atlanta leads 3-0 on just 5 hits. But Willie Bloomquist has a very nice average. Lefty winds and fires in for a strike. Nice pitch to get things started here in the bottom of the third. Atlanta looking to pick up a win here in this series. And that's inside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Lefty is ready and gets that outside edge, so that's twice now that he's been able to put a nice pitch on the outside. 1-2. There's the wind and the pitch goes back inside, gets the swing and the miss. 1 gone for the Cubs, who do not have a hit. Their only base runner is via the walk. Tolley. I will not remember that, but we could try. Tolley. Josh Tolley. Puts a swing on that, but it goes foul. 0-1. Go Cubs, go. I was supposed to sing Go Big Red, but not applicable to any of these teams. Here comes a 1-1. And it's low to make it 2-1. And that is lifted out towards left field, but it'll drift foul. Does get into the seats as the left fielder took a look at it. 2-2 is the count. That's outside to fill it up, and we will see a payoff pitch. Curious to see if the pitch is inside, tries to jam him. He's been effective. He was effective on that location in the first at-bat. That missed. But he was throwing to that lefty so far outside of the zone, it was never really all that competitive. Michael Bourne steps in. They need another runner on to make this interesting. Second base runner for the Cubs, both via the walk. And that'll be... There's one. The turn. Safe. That underhand animation is brutal. It is so... It is... just takes so long. Like, it'll get there eventually. 2 outs here with 1 on. Callejo steps in and takes a strike right down the middle. Ooh, boy, that is a really bad looking curveball or changeup, whatever it was. Nice job by the catcher. Make sure that the runner doesn't advance. Though that run doesn't really matter. A big swing at a pitch on the outside. The Cubs are down to their final strike. And they will get the call on the inside corner. Callejo takes a strikeout looking. That will end the game. No hits for Lannon today. Does issue a couple of walks, but the Braves pick up a 3-0 victory here in Chicago. Wow. John Lannon, the player of the game. 3 innings, no hits, 3 strikeouts. And he'll improve to 5-4. Jordan Zimmerman falls to 1-2. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. And that is how Atlanta picks up the victory. My goodness. That is not the first time that we have watched a Cubs game that's like the third game of the series, and they have maybe the worst average we've ever seen. That is unreal. And they won a game somehow. Whew. Okay, well, that's how that goes. Dodgers, they beat the Reds 7-0. Couple high-scoring games back-to-back there. Padres over the Pirates 2-0. Rays take care of the White Sox 5-0. A lot of road team wins today. Orioles and Mets so far the only home teams to pick up a victory. Cleveland takes care of Minnesota 1-0. Atlanta over Chicago 3-0. So there are only 2 home teams that have won. Doesn't bode well for the Rockies. Let's see. Let's catch up. Colorado won 4-3. That was a fun game. The 4-3 game was fun. 5-3 game, not quite as fun. But a rubber match between 2 of the better teams in the league, the Marlins and the Rockies. Tommy, if you've ever heard that before, not for this simulation specifically, but just kind of like in general. Well, welcome to game number 4. While it's loading again, be sure to hit that like button. Helps out the channel. Free and easy way to do that. And, whoops, okay, all right. I need to click my mouse less, apparently, as this computer clings on for dear life before hopefully we get one. We get a new one soon. Welcome on into Colorado. The Marlins are 34-24. The Rockies are 34-26. Rockies in control of the West in the National League. The Marlins currently in second. And as you saw in that previous graphic during the loading screen, or maybe you didn't because you were giving the video a thumbs up, the Marlins are the number 1 team in the National League wild card race. Muhammad Haney is going to lead off in center field for the Marlins, followed by designated hitter Todd Helton, third baseman Alex Rodriguez, Pat Burrell. He'll be patrolling left, Garrett Jones in right, Paul Konerko is at first. Orlando Cabrera is the shortstop. Jesus himself, Flores, in the catching position, and Danny Espinoza is at second base. Giovanni Gallardo, 7-4 with a 5.87 ERA, 12 games, 30.2 innings pitched, 42 hits, 16 walks, 24 strikeouts. And there's your Colorado Rockies defensive lineup. Muhammad Haney, the Invisible Man, will lead things off, batting .241. The righty is ready to wind and fire. We are underway. One pitch, one swing, and a foul ball. Florida has jumped out to first inning leads in both of the games previous to this. This one's going to go right to third base. And that is out number one. Nice throw across the diamond. I like that casual catch. Todd Helton stepping in. It's one of the things I always go back to when we talk about this Florida Marlins team. We've watched them a lot throughout this season. Their top two hitters just don't give Alex Rodriguez enough to work with. Because you're going to look at Alex Rodriguez's average. You're going to say, wow, what a nice looking average. Boy, sure would have thought that those RBIs would be up a little bit more. Home runs, I don't really care. I don't know. I don't think he's much like... I don't think of A-Rod as like a power guy. The point, though, is, as he dives and misses, it's still just going to be a single. The point is we so frequently see, you see the out there from Muhammad Haney to third base. It's just a little floater to help. We see those two guys get out so frequently. It leaves nothing for Alex Rodriguez to do. And he's batting nearly .400. Does have 20 RBI on the season, but with that average, I think you'd want those RBI numbers up a little bit. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's low. He did miss an RBI opportunity because he was nice and patient and worked a walk in, I think that was the first game. I don't think Todd Helton's running anywhere, but okay. Alex Rodriguez slices that into right field. Slide into second is safe. And the Marlins are in business. Back-to-back hits. Of course, if A-Rod's getting a lot of his average boost from hits like that, just kind of weaker contact, I can understand. But we've also seen enough games where Alex Rodriguez has a good hit after both of the runners or both the batters in front of him have been erased. It was one time it was even a double play. It was brutal. It's like, oh, a single by Haney. Like, okay, Marlins, are you going to give Alex Rodriguez something to do? And then they ground out right into a double play immediately. It's like, okay, no, they're not. Never mind. Gets the strike call low. It's 1-1. One gone here in the top of the first. Game number 4 of 4. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be driven out towards right field. The batters are going, and that's a home run. Wow. That really carried. I thought maybe it would just be off the top of the wall, but there's a 3-run blast with one out, and just like that, the Marlins get back out to the lead. It was not enough in Game 2. They picked up a couple of runs in the first inning of Game 1. 3 more runs in the top of the second in Game 1. They won that game 5-3. Colorado could only muster 1 run an inning. Game 2, Florida got out to a nice lead, 3-0, just like this. Colorado responded nicely in the bottom of the first and picked up 4 runs, and they were able to hold on for the victory. So it's 3 straight games where the Miami Marlins, or the Florida Marlins, have been able to score multiple runs in the first inning. It's going to be interesting to see if that's enough in today's game. Big swing on that curveball. It was in the dirt. Makes the count 1-1. That is up the first baseline, foul. And swung on and missed. Got him to swing under it, and that's out number 2. So a good bounce back following the 3-run blast. Very early on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Sometimes when it tells me, like, hey, you're way too early, I'm like, that's not the problem. The problem is that I swung at a pitch that wasn't even close to the zone. That's a big hack right there. And it's 0-1. Righty winds and fires. It's smacked out to the left, but the left fielder able to see it into the glove, and that will do it. Florida comes up with 3 runs on 3 hits. Colorado looking to respond. The 3rd consecutive game that they have started behind. Colorado's lineup looks like this. Shane Victorino, the center fielder, followed by Stephen Drew at shortstop, Torrey Hunter in right, Carlos Pena at first, Mark Reynolds at third, John Jaso is behind the dish, Juan Rivera in left field, Bill Hall at second, and Michael Saunders is the designated hitter. When's the mascot bracket reveal? It'll be Friday. Brad Ziegler, 3-2 with a 1.88 ERA. 8 games, 24 innings, 17, 7, and 11. That's a guy, score 3 runs and kind of see what happens. Bracket reveal took more time than I realized to set up. I was like, shoot. Shane Victorino. Florida 3, Colorado nothing. Get ready for the bottom of the first inning. Here's the wind of the pitch. It's in for a strike. And he gets the strike, the top side of the zone as well. The 0-2 is driven into the ground. Shortstop picks it up cleanly and fires over to first in timeout number 1. Florida had a quick out with their leadoff hitter. They ended up scoring 3. See what Colorado can do here. Stephen Drew, a touch under 300. 5 home runs, 15 RBI. Man, if I were playing this game and I had given up 3 runs and then saw this arm angle, I'm like, this is this is a loss. We're done. Packing in, boys. We're going home. That is driven foul. Up the first base line. 1-1, 2-0-2, 1-1. Darn. All I had to do was look to my left and catch the YouTube replay. Fouled away. Not a sponsored segment, just literally my screen versus your screen is about a 15-second difference. I could get the count correct. Here comes the 1-2. It is inside for a ball. And that's fouled away. Doing a good job to stay alive here. Oh my goodness, he fouled off all those pitches and then took that one? He's having words with the umpire like he made a bad call, but like, why aren't you swinging? Uh-oh. That is a strike low in the zone. Must have gotten it right by the knees of Torrey Hunter. It's 0-1. And that misses outside for a ball. 1-1. Hunter grounds that to the shortstop, and it is out number 3. So a bad offensive inning for Colorado. They come up with nothing. No runs, no hits. And it'll be Cabrera, Flores, and Espinoza for Florida. They really need a goose egg inning here. I think even one run from Colorado just show a little bit of fight. They did have a nice at-bat. The second out was a pretty long at-bat. That's a nice pitch in for a strike. Made that Marlins pitcher work, but... ugh. 3-0 with that arm angle, that ERA. Kind of just go like, well, they're going to have to find something. Or maybe try to work him into the wear him down and get into the bullpen. But I don't know. I don't know if this game has that. 0-2. Pitcher winds and fires, swung on and missed, and that's a good start to the top of the second. Though, granted, he did get the leadoff batter in the top of the first out as well. Problem was he gave up 3 hits and one of them being a home run. Flores steps up, 327 average, just 6 RBI, no home runs, no stolen bases. And a big swing and a miss. 0-1. Ready is ready. He winds and fires. Gets the strike. That is hittable. A couple times now in this game, one on each side, we've seen a hitter take kind of a, huh? That's the one that you let go? Here's the 0-2. It's in the dirt. Bounces away, but doesn't matter because there's nobody on. The only thing that's important is it's a ball. And that's what I was talking about. I was talking earlier about one of the hits that the Cubs gave up. I liked the pitch as we see him fire a curveball that looked a little dangerous. It is an out. The Cubs pitcher threw a pitch that ended up scoring a run. But I liked how aggressive he was, and he stayed in the strike zone. Even though he got bit, he went 0-2, threw a strike. We saw 0-2 there and a pitch just in the dirt that's awful and not really competitive at all. And that is more what we see is just kind of like a bad waste pitch. Be aggressive. Go for it. 0-1. 0-2 after that swing. So here, just go get it. And that'll be rolled over. Shortstop picks it up. Out by half a step up the first base line, and that is the goose egg the Rockies need. Offense has to figure something out here as we head to the home half of the second. Don't look at the graphic. It's broken. Carlos Pena leads off. 268. They don't have to get all 3 runs here. They can get 1 or 2. I think 3 would be ideal to reset the game going into the 3rd inning. But you have to come away with something. You can't be needing 3 runs at the end of the 3rd. It's a good take as that sailed outside of the zone. 1-0. Wind and the pitch is rolled over to the first baseman. Pitcher covers, makes the out. And that's 1 gone for Colorado. 3 runs might be enough for this Florida Marlins team. As this pitcher has retired 4 straight batters to start the game. Mark Reynolds batting .301, 7 home runs, 22 RBI, no stolen bases. And gets that low outside corner. Strike 1. And that is hit just past a diving shortstop. That is your first hit of the game for the Colorado Rockies. It is a 1-out single. We'll see if they can get in business here. John Chaso, 392. No home runs, 8 RBI. 8 runs batted in. See if Colorado can do anything with this, with that hit. Ooh, aggressive swing there, fouled away. A double play feels just so monumentally crushing in this spot. Finally get a base runner. Ooh, gets a call right at the knees. 0-2. Yes, 0-2. That is driven into left field. Does it stay fair? No, it just drifted foul. Needed that to lose a little more altitude a little more quickly. Here's another 0-2. That's going to be rolled to the shortstop. It's a 1 at second. Not in time at first. It was going to be a tight play. Shortstop probably could have tried to charge that ball just a little bit. The game obviously isn't as smooth as it should be in a lot of different cases. So you got to try to bring that shortstop in, get him to run at it a little bit. Because as soon as the computer starts the slide animation, when it meets the guy throwing the ball, his animation has to chooses to change, then throws it. It's such a clunky game. Here comes the 0-1. That is driven out to right field, but that is not going to do it. Colorado picks up their first hit of the game, but it goes for nothing. 3-0 the score. Haney, Helton, and Rodriguez as the lineup flips over for the Marlins. This was actually... wasn't exactly what we saw for Atlanta. Never mind. Ignore it. Haney was the first out of the game. As the Rockies are going to look to hold this at a 3-0 deficit. They'll need so much help. They'll have to figure everything out in the bottom of the 3rd. I thought it was imperative that they came up at least with 1 run. It was like really important that they came up with some and then something offensively. And then it was like imperative when they picked up that first hit, they had a runner on first base. It's like, okay, now you really need to be able to get him around. They were not able to do it, obviously, as we just all watched. 0-2. The righty winds and fires way low for a ball. Here comes the 1-2. And that gets Haney on looking. That's another pitch I think that like just looks really good. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good, pretty well located pitch. He just didn't go for it. Helton steps up to bat. We'll take a strike inside. Now, it is a pitch that is so bad it's good. It looked like it was supposed to go outside, but definitely like went, oh, nope, we're going middle. So I can understand how that would fool Haney a little bit, but if you're in that position with 2 strikes, you got to try and foul it off to the best of your ability. Does not get the strike call there. 1-1. Okay. That got to the backstop. It doesn't matter. There's nobody on. 2-1. Still working him inside, even though he's almost hit him a couple of times, and does it yet again. 3-1. That is hit well, but foul. Sorry. Foul ball. Eyes early on the call. And the third baseman just doesn't go for it. Okay. I thought that was maybe going to be out number 2. The Rockies were going to try and hold the Marlins to just the 3-run lead. Third baseman kind of just doesn't get a good jump at it. Alex Rodriguez is 1 for 1 with a single and a run. In the same situation he was last time he was up, a runner on first. Oh my goodness, and he'll do the same thing. It'll be a single. It'll advance Helton to second base, and now you're in a really interesting spot here. Pat Burrell went deep last time he was up in basically the same order. It was an out to Haney, a single to Helton, a single to Rodriguez, and now here he is with an opportunity to drive in some runs. That pitch really needed to stay outside. It did not look good coming out of his hand, but he was able to drive it away from the batter. 2-0. That is 3-0. Gets a swing and a miss on a 3-0. I think it's going to be 3-1 regardless. I just think if you're in the Marlins position, you don't really want to bat out number 2 here. Though I can understand you're already up 3 and your defense is playing very well. Your pitcher is lights out here. This is driven to center field. Do they send the runner from second? They do. The throw is in. It's cut off, and it is safe. Looked like Victorino was kind of leaning back, almost like he was throwing away like that, rather than throwing into it. Bam. Versus who? But 2 gone does advance the runner to third. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit, and that'll score a run. Hit into left field. 4-0. Florida. I was still incorrect. I said Miami, like, yeah, that's what it is. Nope, still Florida. Paul Konerko is 0 for 1 today. Working with a runner in scoring position. 4-0 game with 2 out here on the top of the third. It's in the dirt. Nice job by the catcher to block that. Keep it in front of them and make sure that the runners stay where they are. That is foul up the first baseline. Nice dive by the first baseman to put his body on the line. Oh my goodness. Konerko is going to want that pitch back. That one came out of the hand and didn't move. And I thought, oh boy, we could be looking at a bloodbath here if it's a 3-run blast. 1-2 with 2 gone. Fouled away yet again. That is driven foul. Sorry. Bad ball. That's foul. I was early on the call again. That's on me. Here comes the 1-2 pitch yet again. It's outside for a ball. 2-2. And driven foul again. He cannot find the put-away pitch here against Konerko. This is an exhausting at-bat. It's fouled away again.
That's a foul ball.
And all of a sudden it's a full count. He's just been fouling off 2-strike pitch after 2-strike pitch. Couple of good takes. And here's payoff pitch number 1. And he gets the swing and the miss. Finally sets him down. Whew, that was a long at-bat. Florida picks up 1 more run in the top of the third. Hall, Saunders, and Victorino coming up for the Rockies. They need 4 to tie, 5 to win, and they haven't done anything yet. Kind of hard to believe in that. That team, I don't know if I think the Diamondbacks played the Brewers, so this NL West race could get interesting as here we look at the righty fire a pitch that just looked like it kept going up and up and up and up, and then it swung on and missed. 0-1. That's outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1. It is, real nice movement there to get that inside corner and make the count 1-2. That is, hey, there's a hit. All right. Leadoff hit for the Rockies. And they're going to go for the double. Safe. I didn't give him enough credit for his speed. He got out of the box. The ball also a little bit deeper. And the animation not super clean. Shocking. Coming up with the ball and throwing it in. So, hey. Colorado puts a runner in scoring position immediately. They'll bring a lefty to the plate. He'll mash it to third, but... Oh, that was way closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be an easy out, and then I thought, oh, he might actually get there. He had good speed going up that first base line. He's up by about half a step. That is in for a strike on that outside corner. Very generous, that low corner right-hand side batter's box, or right-hand batter's box. It's been generous for a while now. I don't know, like the game's just falling apart. More so than usual. But it's been kind to the pitchers. Count is 1-1, a runner on second. Colorado looking to do something here in the bottom of the third. They're down 4-0. That is a ball. Nice eye to take that pitch. Victorino takes another strike right at the bottom of the zone, right at the knees. 2-2. 2-2. 1 on, 1 gone. Here's the pitch. Victorino right to third base. And out at first. Well, it kind of got exciting there for a minute, but Alex Rodriguez over at third base playing good defense, and Colorado down to their final out. Steven Drew is next up. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's low for a ball. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. And that's in for a strike. Gets that inside corner. 2-1. And it'll be 3-1. Has not taken the bat off his shoulders. Just spitting on pitches to a 3-1 advantage count. Is this where he puts a big swing on the ball? Batters love a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. It is fired into left field. Will they try to score? No. They will hold the runner at third. Smart play. Not like he got super deep into left in one run. 4-1 versus 4-0. Not the largest difference at the moment. Just cannot be outnumbered 3 at home plate. Got to give yourself a chance. So I like the decision there to hold him. Hunter does a good job to take a ball in that situation. 1-0. We saw Torrey Hunter come up with the bases loaded in game 1, and he just put the biggest swing on everything that was thrown at the plate. Kind of like that. Just really going for it. One and one after the swing and miss. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's inside. So a good adjustment there. Saw the pitch inside. Took a big hack at it. Saw it a second time. Let it go. And that is hit to the third baseman. Hey, it's Alex Rodriguez again. He assists all 3 putouts. And that will do it. The Rockies never really threatened. Ziegler looked really good in this one. His pitching was very difficult for them to figure out. And they take a 3-0 lead. They put one more on in the top of the third for a little insurance, but they do take a 3-run lead in the first, and that is more than enough to pick up the win. Marlins win this series 2-1. And this one was probably the weakest of the 3. The other 2 are actually very solid games. And I believe this is the final game of the day on the schedule. For us, it for sure is. Pat Burrell, your player of the game. 1 for 2 with a 3-run home run. His 5th of the season. Brad Ziegler improves to 4-2. Giovanni Colorado. He falls to 7-5. Colorado picks up 3 hits but can't do anything with it. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Marlins. Here's a look at your end of series stats. The Marlins batted .409. Colorado not too shabby with a .351. Each team with just the 1 home run. Colorado struck out 10 times. Or had 10 strikeouts. Alright, view today's games. I think that's everything. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and sim to date. And we are ready to roll. Let's get you caught up on some scores. Where did we leave off? Braves, Cubs. Man, the home team only won like 3 games today, huh? Diamondbacks, they pick up a win. That is good news because they get the benefit of that Marlins victory. The Diamondbacks and the Rockies now tied atop the NL West. Diamondbacks 2-0 victors over the Brewers. Cardinals pick up a 4-1 victory over the Giants. And like I said, because we watched it, 4-0 your win there. That'll do it. Did we see? No, the first game I think had a 3-2 finish. But that'll do it. That is our coverage for today. Thank you everybody so much for joining, hanging out. We're heading to save slot 8 to get this franchise saved, and then we will say our goodbyes. I appreciate everybody hanging out, chatting, lurking, whatever you're doing. I appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribing. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you again for hanging out. Tomorrow, you're going to get a comedy video in the morning, hopefully. God willing, Adobe works for me. Then, hopefully there will be a short. I should be able to have what's it called? A quick reaction short to the cover reveal. And then there will be a video of a longer cover prediction / reveal that'll be together. Hopefully it won't be too long. And then we'll do a stream at 6. So there's a bunch of stuff going up tomorrow throughout the day. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. I appreciate you hanging out. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back with baseball tomorrow. Hopefully about 6 p.m. Pacific time. But Lord knows, if technology keeps fighting me the way it did today, who knows when it'll go live. But it'll be there. I appreciate you watching. Good sports, go baseball. And we'll see you tomorrow for a bunch of different content. Good night, excuse me. Good night, everybody.